Football-mad teenagers will always find somewhere to practice and show off their skills. But until a couple of years ago, this makeshift pitch was a thriving business. The cafe once here is one of 6 to close in LA. And could this restaurant be next? Jobs have been lost. Those still working have little to do. The owner told me this is the worst summer he's known, and he expects to have to close down. It's a town in decline, and nobody's in any doubt why. Now up here the air is much cooler than down in cities like Beirut, and traditionally that's made it very popular with visitors from hot countries, especially in the Gulf. But since the governments of those nations have warned their citizens not to visit Lebanon, that's meant that businesses here have really struggled. Waves of tourists have deserted Lebanon. Visitors are down by about 40% since 2010, devastating when tourism makes up about a quarter of your economy. After shaking off the image of its own long civil war, this is the sort of view Lebanon wants to project now. But its proximity to Syria means it's pictures like these which are making the headlines. Last week, more than 50 people were hurt by a car bomb in southern Beirut, a stronghold of Hezbollah, the Lebanese group supportive of the Syrian government. And that makes Lebanon a hard sell.
The biggest problem I have is to convince the world that it is not really the law of the jungle in Lebanon. In comparison, security is under control, and hell did not break loose in Lebanon. It's a very, very difficult job because, you know, in Europe people are under the impression that Damascus is like next door to Beirut, and bullets fired in Damascus can hit people in Beirut. It's not the case, you know.
Ziad runs this restaurant in Beirut's trendy Gemeza district. It's doing okay, he says, because it targets customers who live and work in the capital. But other ventures haven't fared so well.
We had a fantastic French restaurant just off the waterfront in Beirut. We invested a lot of time and effort into it. It cost around $1.5 million to set up. We had high expectations for the return on our investment since it was in a touristic jewel of the capital. Things went fine for the first few months, but turned sour really quickly. Our restaurant sadly only lasted 18 months down there. We took a decisive, quick decision to shut it down before it got any worse because we didn't see the end in sight for the economic revival of this country.
She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some.
And things are so bad that here in the party capital of the Middle East, even the nightlife's being affected. Sky Bar's perhaps the city's most famous club, and not just among locals. Until a couple of years ago, 40% of its customers were tourists. But that's now down to less than a quarter. So instead of operating 6 nights a week like it used to, right now doors only open on a Friday and Saturday.
What we're doing is concentrate this customer base in a fewer operational day. You have to deal with this kind of situation. You're here to survive, and our way of adapting to the situation is minimizing the losses. We'd rather open fewer days but ensure full satisfaction of our customers, and part of the satisfaction is a filled place with people there all night long and who are having fun.
But even as hotels struggle and restaurants close down, some are staying upbeat.
The first proof of confidence is that there are new institutions that are being established. And the second one, I know that lots of owners are selling properties, their own or their parent properties, or getting loans from banks in order to keep up. They want to keep up.
So out of the darkness glimmers of hope that tourists will return. And here's one such venture, a new nightclub owned by the people behind Sky Bar. Given the existing business has seen more profitable days, it may sound like an odd investment. But then this is a colourful country that's bounced back before.